By the way, Xenia, try to organize them more like in the evening now, because Saturday afternoon in July is going to be difficult. Huh? Okay. So, Robin, very nice to talk to you. So basically, this year we had about 20 students accepted
Mhm.
to LBS, and strangely enough, I will have to write that in my thing. For the first time, you have more MFA than MIM, MBA together. Before, historically, it was MBA, then it was MBA, MIM. Starting like 2 years ago, we had more
Yeah.
MIM than MBA accepted, and now it is MFA. So the problem that is most sought after than any other. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a new trend, huh? And we'll see why people want to study finance in London. There must be a reason. And the problem is very, very trendy. Even though, as you may have noticed this week, I commented the new ranking by the Financial Times. The FT MFA went down. So strangely enough, the problem is very popular. Okay, at the
Mhm.
same time, maybe not at the level where it should be. Okay. Now, basically, Robin, why have you decided to apply for an MFA?
So I studied finance in Frankfurt. I was
Mm,
always interested in finance before I attended university. So it was the natural way for me to go studying finance as a master's. And I looked at a number of universities, but the LBS MFA program was the most attractive for me because of the location and the reputation of the university, but also the program structure. It's pretty much corporate finance oriented, which would accommodate my interests more than some other finance courses.
okay. Now, have you so you have applied to other master programs in finance in London, huh?
Yes,
Haven't you? Yeah. So the
yes.
others being
Pardon me?
the other being what with LSE, and the other one is what London School of
I
Economics.
I applied to London School of Economics, Imperial College, and UCL, and I got accepted to all.
All of
Uh,
them. Okay. So you're very happy. And why why this for? Why you know that Oxford is a good one, Cambridge
yes.
is a good one. Why not Oxford and Cambridge, for instance, in your selection?
For me, my priority was go to London. My
Hmm?
girlfriend, she has been living in London for the past few years, and I, for me, it was the natural way now to go. If I do a master, why should I go to Paris or somewhere else? Another year away from my girlfriend when they have so good universities in London, and it's the prime location to start a career in finance.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
the
So
banks.
anyway, if you study at HEC, you will probably work in London, huh? Okay,
Yes,
yeah, that's
exactly.
most likely. So that's something that will happen. So basically, have you inquired a bit about LBS? Because it seems that the location is important for you, but what is appealing about LBS beyond the name, maybe beyond the name? What do you find appealing in this program?
First of all, for me, the most important one was the program structure. I want to do investment banking, and I also have some experience in that. So I wanted a course which is very corporate finance oriented, and the MFA program does that specifically. They don't have many other courses which are not in my field of interest. So that was the main reason for choosing LBS. Also, the professors, when I was applying, I looked up many professors, and I also talked to people who studied at LBS. I have some friends already, and they were all saying the professors at LBS, they're on another level. They have never studied with such people like that, and that was very appealing to me as well.
Okay. Yes, that's so basically when I ask to my LBS uh, colleagues and friends, to my colleagues working for LBS, usually they are professors. So they always tell me that according to them, LBS first has a certain standard, which
Yeah.
is the standard that you can expect from a top business school. And second of all, they say that the strength of the program is the community and the care services. Then they tell
Mhm.
me that they are best before now on, and then of course the rest is pretty good. But they always tell me location, the community, and the quality of the care services.
Yes.
Basically, you have an idea, Robin, of what you want to do after the DMFA?
So my priority target right now is to get secure a summer analyst position next year at a bulge bracket or an elite boutique. Yeah, that is my priority target. And I heard that at LBS, the first 3 months during the recruiting season until November, of course, you study a lot. Academics is very important, but the first priority, what LBS what they focus on is to secure an internship for everybody. I heard that from the brother of my friend who also did the MFA program, that it was very interesting to see how much they push, how much the career center actually tries to get you or help you to get an internship.
Yes, of course. It's as I told you, they are renowned for that. Alors, so basically, and after the M&A, so you're working in M&A, and then after that, you want to join what you want to be on the buy side.
Yes.
You want to work in private equity or investment fund. That's what you want to do. Yeah?
Yes, I
You
want to.
use.
I'm also going to apply for some private equity funds, since they also have summer analyst positions. I have some friends at Blackstone who may help me throughout the recruiting process. So I'll see about that. But at the moment, summer analyst position at one of the big banks is my realistic target.
Okay. Because you see, when we are in, I had some students who applied for deferred MBA, and I had one who is going to work for KKR, no, for Blackstone in London, but right after the bachelor, which is not
Okay.
bad. And they will pay for his MBA, and he has been accepted to Columbia and MIT so far, so which is not bad, huh? As a deferred MBA. So it means that he will start his MBA in 2024, 2025. Tell me, Robin, so it was good to talk about you. So now, can you please tell me about your background, who you are? Because maybe me, I know you as a student, but maybe the others, they don't know you. So, but tell me, yeah.
So I am 23 years old. I was born in Seoul, South Korea, and my mother is Korean and my dad is German. So I grew up speaking Korean, English, and German at home. I went to a German school in Korea and did my German Abitur there. Outside of school, I liked to play football, tennis. I also learned some golf, and I just enjoyed time with my friends. But then around, I think in high school, my cousin, he was an investment banker himself. Through him, I first gained interest in finance. So I decided to study finance, and for me, it was natural to go to Germany since after growing up in Korea and having went to a German school, so it was natural for me to go to Germany. So I decided to Frankfurt School of Finance and Management to study banking and finance there. And
yeah, so it's an excellent school, of course. And from there you have applied to LBS.
Yes.
So basically, so you mean that you have studied in your Deutsche Abitur in Korea. So you're completely fluent German, and so you speak what? You speak Korean as well, I guess. That you speak what? Korean, English, and German. Yeah.
Yes, and a bit of French.
A bit of French. So of course it makes quite an impressive profile. So you used to what you spend, what the summer with your family in Germany, but living in Korea, and then you have decided to study in Germany. Yeah.
No, my parents, they live in Korea. They still live.
You still live there? Okay.
Yes, so I grew up. My mother doesn't speak German. My dad doesn't speak Korean, so we speak English at home. But if I speak with my mother, I speak in Korean. If I'm with my dad, I speak German. But if we're all together, we speak in English.
Okay, that's very impressive.
Yes, and then in the summer we always travel to Germany, or always Germany, and then in the other vacations in winter, or in Easter, we travel to other places like around Asia a lot. Yeah, we spent a lot of time abroad.
Okay, so it's a good thing. And so your girlfriend is in London. How much do you know London? How well do you know London? Yes, you've been here and there.
So I've been the time I spent in London altogether was around 5 months. So this beginning of this year, 3 months, last year 1 month, and now the past month I'm already in London. We got a new flat recently, and I think I know London pretty well. I am very interested in geography and I like exploring places. So for me, it's very easy to get myself oriented what is where, and also as somebody who's interested in finance, for me it's always I always like to look up where all the banks are, where all the funds are. So that also helps for orientation actually in day-to-day life. Yeah, that's
Have you visited London Business School already, Robin? You have visited London Business School? Have you visited the campus already? Yeah.
Yes, I actually prepared for the GMAT at London Business School in March because my friend he does MIF. He gave me his card and I studied at their library at the Sami Ofer Center, the new campus, which is really nice. Like it's amazing. I was really surprised. It just felt, I don't know, for me it was before I applied, so for me it was like this awesome place where only smart people are and a very nice campus. And also,
so you like the cafeteria, but it's the new campus, not the
new
old one.
campus.
Yeah, I don't know the new one. Okay.
And then the original one, I also visited it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was also it's a beautiful, in front of Regent's Park. This beautiful white building. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. That's something that you like. And are you already in contact with some students from LBS? Are you in contact? Yeah.
No, not yet.
Because we have many German-speaking students who have been accepted to LBS this year. Many German, but I think that they have not moved yet to London. They will probably move in August, and of course it will be a fantastic experience for them. So tell me now, have you already regarding London Business School? Have you already determined the list of classes that you want to take at LBS? You have like elective courses as well. So you have a core course, but you have elective courses. Have you already identified some of them?
So when there were, I think, I cannot remember exactly, it has been 3 months now already. You can take, I think, 3 or 4 electives, and among them were a couple very interesting, of which there was alternative investments, and then distressed investing, distressed investing with Professor Florian Vaspari, who my friend told me that he is also an amazing guy, that his classes are very fun. Distress investing, and then also hedge funds. So it's if you can see already, I want to do the finance stuff. Maybe they also have a wide range of other electives in the field of social sciences and I don't know, ESG, accounting, but I do want to focus myself on these courses. Yeah.
So that's something that you want to do. And in terms of clubs, so I'm sure that you'll be part of the finance club, but you have identified other clubs that you'd like to enjoy joining. Yeah.
Yes. So the DACH club, that's the German speaking area, but I think also anybody can join who doesn't speak German. I'm obviously going to join that club. They say it's very, very good for networking. Then because I like to play a wide variety of sports, so I will join the tennis club. I will also join the golf club. Then I will also join the snow club because I raced. I did alpine skiing. I raced in giant slalom, so I will also join the snow club. And then also maybe the healthcare club because I'm interested in healthcare investment banking as well. So maybe the healthcare club. Otherwise, I think maybe the rugby club. I heard I've never played rugby, but I've heard that the rugby club is really good for networking.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the best club if you want to network.
Yes.
You cut the lemons if you want.
Yes.
But even yes, there's even a rugby club for women. It's called touch rugby.
Yeah.
Maybe at this stage, I'm sure that I have many of our students who have come today, and I'm sure that they have questions for them to come. So, Jean-Philippe, You want to apply to the LBS MFA? What questions have you got
Yes,
for
thank
Robin?
you. I was wondering about the scholarships. What do you know about them?
At LBS, so they have different types of scholarships for people who are of financial need. There you have to apply for it and also prove that you are in financial need. Otherwise, they have some scholarships for diversity, I think for other ethnic groups, and also LGBTQ kind of scholarships, which I do not, which I am not eligible for at all. But they have a merit scholarship who everybody would be considered automatically if you're accepted. You're automatically considered for a £15,000 merit scholarship. I unfortunately did not get that. But yeah, I don't think LBS has such. I'm honestly, I don't know exactly, but I don't think you could actively apply to just scholarships. It was either these need-based scholarships or these diversity scholarships or the merit scholarship, which you just automatically receive or not.
So yes, so basically what you have to see is that it depends also, Philippe, a lot on the geography. So for instance, I have two students from Peru, Daniela and Jesus, and of course they gave them automatically scholarship because of course from Peru the currency is very weak. You see, Robin, so they got scholarship immediately, and they both got like something like £15,000. Now I told them that £15,000. It's not a lot in London, okay, because they got like 10,000 at HEC and 15,000 with LBS. And I have the feeling that the life at HEC is much cheaper. But so of course they want the experience as well. Yeah. So that's the question. So basically, Jean-Philippe, LBS is not the best place if you want a scholarship. Okay, I've noticed, for instance, that INSEAD gives a lot of scholarship. They give a lot of 10,000 scholarship. They have a lot, and life is cheaper in Fontainebleau. Okay, so anyway, LBS will cost you money.
Yes,
it's obvious. Okay, how much you pay for your flat, Robin, for instance? Give me an idea. How much you pay for your flat? The flat.
My girlfriend and I, we share a one bed, 60 square meters for £2,300.
It's quite big, yeah.
Yes, it's the price. It's expensive, but we live in Holborn, very good location. Yeah, but London is expensive. I mean,
yeah, of course, when you compare to Germany, when you compare to Frankfurt,
yeah,
for 2,400, you could get something very nice in Frankfurt.
It's insane. Like a beer here costs so much.
Yeah. So yes, you need 3,000 euros per month, basically, just for you. Basically, yes, Jean-Philippe. So you have to save a lot and you have to borrow a lot. So you have an idea of how much it will cost? It will cost you roughly the 1 year at LBS. You have an idea?
Yes, so I calculated £40,000 roughly for tuition.
Yeah, that's
and then rent for 1 year around 2,200 per person, so 14,000 already. That's already 54,000, 55,000. And then cost of living, I think around 1,500 a month, so that's already 18,000. So we're already at 72,000 pounds. And that is again that's again in pounds, so I don't know what it would be in euros. Times 1.
Roughly the same, yeah, roughly the same. So basically it's going to cost you 80,000 euros for the year. Okay.
Yes, and then also if you consider I got a full-time offer at Berenberg, and I could have started working there, which would pay me, I think they would have given me 85,000 euros base salary plus bonus, of course. So if you consider that, the opportunity cost and the cost of living, that would be like 160. It's a lot of money, but I do still think that LBS is going to be worth it.
Because at the same time, it will pay back. You understand, Rodin? You make more money after LBS than after. So yes, it's an investment, and after that, it's probably the last time that you study. Maybe you go into executive education or maybe executive MBA. Of course, you will study more, but it will be a different story. So I have another person. So basically, Maximilian, Max, you have a question for us,
Yes,
Max?
hi
Because I know that you
Ruben.
want to apply to LBS. You're more into HEC, I believe. Huh?
Yeah,
No, you're more in HEC blend. But what would you say?
yeah. First of all, thank you, Robin, for the introduction, and thank you, Dr. Hubert, for letting me ask a question. Just a brief question. As I want to apply to HEC, I just want to know roughly what was your timeline on the application.
Oh, mine was very it was very spontaneous. So I was studying for GMAT, but my GMAT wasn't that good all the time because I didn't study it properly. So I didn't. There are some other methods, but I didn't tackle it very well. So it was, I think, 2 weeks, insane short period. And MBA Center was wonderful. They helped me a lot. Like really helped me a lot. It wouldn't have been possible without them. And they did a very good job. Obviously, I got accepted to all universities.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very short time frame, but my recommendation: start early. Start in the year before. So if you plan to study next year, start this year already. I don't know how it is at HEC, but that will save you a lot of stress, and also it will give you a big relief because you already know, oh, I have a place where I can study. I think that's the biggest thing, because for me it was months and months of just stress and kind of anxiety that I'm not sure if I will be getting into somewhere.
So for
Of
what
course.
round did you apply? Like,
Round 4.
okay.
Yes.
1-4, huh? So basically, yes, you apply a bit at the last minute, and of course, I'm so happy that you got such great results. But Maximilian is already preparing the GMAT, and basically, he's in my class. That's why I know him well.
Nice.
And you're scoring the 720, huh? Maximilian, what do you score now? 720?
I'm scoring right now 700, 720, but
Okay.
I'm aiming for 750, like
Yeah.
in 2 months.
Did you
It's
take
very common
the?
at MBA Center that they score between 720, 750
Mhm.
students. Okay?
Did you
Provided that they are, of
take the
course,
real exam?
somehow talented. Yeah, sorry.
Did you already take the real exam?
Not the real exam, but
Oh.
now I don't know if you did this with MBA Center, but we have now like 15 bank exam. It's called Expert Global, so we train on that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
I think I did it on my own. I studied on some
Yeah.
with a book. Yeah, it wasn't that optimal.
It's a pity we did not prepare the GMAT together. You'd have probably
Yeah.
had a better score. But you know, you met us after that. So you see, Maximilian, he prepared the GMAT on his own, and he came to us right at the last minute for the application. First,
And what did you get for the GMAT?
I got
690.
690.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really not bad. Okay, but to give you an idea, for instance, Maximilian, I had an Indian student who prepared everything on his own, and he contacted me only for at the last minute. And you know, saying on his own, he only got a deck with a 690. So it shows that, you know, if you do on your own, and his interview was excellent. By the way, Robin, what was the interview like? Because that's a question that people have. Sometimes they tell me, is it an interview like a motivation interview, or is it technical? Okay, and you know, as you know, the interview at HEC is very, very technical. Huh?
Mhm.
Okay, what was the interview like at LBS?
So I had nothing technical. I had an interview with a German guy who is at McKinsey now. He was a very nice guy. It was all motivational, no technical questions. I think, and the level of questions were pretty high. It wasn't just standard. They were. It was more like a conversation. I think he did it like that. When he asked me questions, I answered him. He was not like, oh, okay. He then talked about his experiences. So these interviews, they don't act only as an interview, they also act as a marketing thing. They also want to show how good their university is, what such good experiences they had. And because he was also then always talking about his experiences, why he had applied to LBS at that time, it was more like a coffee chat. It was more like a conversation, which made it very comfortable. So I wasn't nervous at all, and so I could also answer my questions at the best way possible. And they just asked simple questions like why LBS, why finance, why banking, you know, all these standard motivational questions, then also which clubs, and yeah, so basically just what they ask you in the essays, but it was very, very pleasant.
Yeah. So basically what you have to know, all of you, is that they have an interview, but after that, the interviewer has to answer questions. Okay. So basically, he will ask you questions so that he can answer the question that LBS sent in. And usually the questions are about the strengths of the candidate, the right fit, the professional projects, the communication skills, etc. And if the person, so the interview is about the right fit. So you have to see that basically you have two types of schools. So you have schools that are very, very technical. The most one is MIT, because MIT we have a motivation interview, we have a math exam, we have a computer exam, and we have a finance exam, as you know. So last year I had 6 students who got accepted to MIT, so I had to prepare for the computer exam, finance exam, math exam. Okay, which was it was a bit unexpected because I had so many and in such a little amount of time. So basically, LBS is more motivation. So the interview that you have is close to the one that you have for an MIN. Okay, so basically motivation based, probably. Okay, basically. I have so there are students that I know, but there are some that I don't know. So Timur, I don't know you, Timur. So Timur, you have a question for us, Timur? Hello?
Yes,
Timur?
hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. Where are you
Yeah.
from, Timur? Where are you
I'm from Azerbaijan, actually.
Okay.
Oh, I was there
Okay.
last weekend.
Okay.
Really?
So in Baku,
Yes, in
you're
Baku.
from Baku. You're from Baku.
Yeah, that's a
Okay,
cool city. Yeah, I hope you liked it.
I love
Yeah,
it.
thanks.
I've never been. I've never been. I live in Turkey, but I've never been in Azerbaijan. So, Timur, tell me.
Yeah, my question concerns your offer at the bank. So I'm curious, what do you think made them offer you this job? I mean, what particular things on your CV helped you get that offer with
You
a
mean at
decent?
Berenberg where I was before, or?
Yeah, you just mentioned a
Yeah.
job offer that you for that you decided to ignore
Yeah.
and go for the LBS.
It's
So
not a
my
bank. It's
question.
Bloomberg. It's Bloomberg.
Yeah, Bloomberg. You said Bloomberg. Okay, I
No,
just
no,
didn't catch that.
Berenberg.
So
Berenberg, a German
Bloomberg.
bank. Yes, I was an intern in their investment banking division, and yeah, it was just I guess I performed well. I had a very good feedback. That my personal fit also within the team was very good, which is I think very important because we did long hours. Actually, like until 3, quite a lot. So that is very important. But also, just performance on working. They said I have a very strong learning curve, and they would have liked to see me working a bit longer there to see how my learning curve goes even higher. Yeah, so
That's
it was
impressive. That's
Yeah, he's an impressive guy, by the way. But tell me, Robin, sorry, I'm ignorant. So I know investment banking quite well because I prepared my son because he's working for JP Morgan, so I prepared everything. But Bloomberg has an investment banking division.
Berenberg.
Berenberg. Okay, because when you told me Bloomberg, I say okay.
No, Berenberg.
Berenberg, and it's an investment bank. It's a German investment bank. I don't know about this bank.
They were a private bank, but 10 years ago they started to expand investment banking. Now they're the strongest house last year for ECM. Equity capital markets, they're very strong. Also in the UK, very strong. Actually, the head of investment banking was the best paid banker in London last year. So they're very strong in equity capital markets, which is obviously the market is dead right now. Yeah, it was a good experience.
Yes. Okay. So basically, but he refused So basically, to give you an idea, if you get JP Morgan, they won't pay you as well. Huh? The basic is 43,000 pounds, and the bonus is roughly the same. Huh? So maybe I don't know if they will pay you as well, but probably the care progression.
No, the
instruction.
salaries went a lot up these days. Since last year, I think the bulge brackets, they pay around 70 base now.
You sure? Okay. About,
Yeah.
I don't know. My son did not tell me everything. Okay, so 70,000. Okay.
Yeah.
I was not aware. So basically, so Temur, and you Temur, do you plan to come to apply to LBS?
Yes, certainly, but not MBAs. Masters in Finance, most likely.
Okay. Yeah, but of course. But as I told you, this morning we had a class where we had 10 students, Maximilian. There's only one MBA applicant in class. The 9 others, I tell you, for instance, I had a GMAT class this morning, 10 students, 9 applied for an MBA, 5 for a Master in Finance, and 4 for an MIM. So now the big trend is Master in Finance. That's the, I told you that's why we have more. This year we had like 11 accepted to a Master in Finance, and the 9 others were MBA, MIM, and Master in Data Science. Okay, at LBS. So basically, the MFA has a lot of success today. Okay, and people, they see, basically, it's true that they see the interest of spending so much money for Master in Finance. Okay, for an MIM, less so. Okay, I have many students, for instance, from Bocconi, who tell me for an MIM, I prefer to stay at Bocconi. I don't see the added value of spending so much money for an MIM. It's their own opinion. Okay. So basically that's what we have. So there's Pranali. You have a question for us, Pranali? Okay, he left. Maybe it's a spy. Eming Ku. So Eming Chu. I mean that you're from China. Eming, you have a question for us? Hello. Eming. There's someone called Eming. Okay. So there's Rob. Yeah, Rob is you. Paul, you have a question for us, Paul? Paul?
Yeah. Hi, Rob.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this. Hi, Hubert. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
My question to you, Rob, is how big of a role did your international exposure before LBS play in your applications?
Basically, you understand that Robin has a big one. It's impressive because you see most of the people that you have here at MBA Center, they are French, they studied in Germany, or they stay in the UK, but it's more than that. So you can recall us what you had in terms of international exposure, and it was important for you in the decision process. According to me, yes.
I think it was the number one priority. I think that is LBS looks a lot for international exposure. That was also what MBA Center was saying all the time. Emphasize your internationality, where you traveled alone, all that stuff. I think was the most important part of my application, because I have been moving and now I'm going to move again. So yeah, I think my internationality played a huge role. I think my profile in general is pretty strong, all my languages, where I grew up, where I studied, and then also where I want to study now, as well as work experience in Korea and in Germany, and also traveling to many countries, especially during COVID. So I think that played a big role, which I also emphasized a lot in my essays.
So yes, so basically, so that's exactly is perfectly right. So basically, what you have to understand, Paul, is that they take into consideration several criteria. First one is going to be academic and intellectual. You grade your GMAT, okay? So you went to a good school, Frankfurt of Finance and Management. You had good grades there. I imagine the GMAT is more than acceptable. Then the quality of the work experience. Imagine that you had many internships in the field. Okay, so that's something that they want. Then, of course, is international. Leadership is less important probably in an MFA than in an MIM, but I don't know exactly what they pointed out. And then probably the right fit. And obviously, he loves LBS. He probably could tell that he prepared already GMAT at the LBS library. So that's something that they appreciate. And finally, that he wants to work in finance in London, so it fits pretty well. Okay. So yes, it's a series of criteria that helps you get in. Yeah, exactly.
right, thank you.
So basically, it's important. Yourself, Paul, what you want to apply? You want to apply to LBS MFA as well? Yeah.
So Dr. Hubert, I'm from Bangalore, India.
Yeah.
This is a spam email address that I used to register, but I've already registered with MBA Center, I think last week. So,
Okay. What is your first name? What is your first name?
Syed Bilal.
Okay. Yeah, because it's written Paul Lance, so of course it's not
Yeah.
you. So of course out. And you want to apply to LBS MFA as well? Yeah. Will you apply?
Yeah,
This one?
that's one of my targets.
Okay. Basically, the trends today. The trends today. So I will tell you about the trends. Basically, we entice our students to apply to the US. We had very good results last year with MIT and NYU. Then we're going to add, on the top of that, we're going to add the Columbia. Okay. Of course, the Columbia program is quite expensive. MAJ is not there today, but I've already some students want to apply to. So basically, today we're going to focus a lot on US MBAs, on US masters, especially for you as an Indian. You have to see that, for instance, if you study with MIT, it's a STEM program, and you get a 3-year visa after MIT. So I strongly suggest that you consider MIT, for instance. So of course the UK programs. So this year you see Paul, you see Robin. We're going to insist more on the LBS Oxford Cambridge, okay, and less on LSE Imperial, because we believe that it's better names, okay. But of course some people want to be in London, others don't really care. They want something else. So so probably this year we're going to insist a lot on NYU, Columbia, MIT. US, UK, of course, LBS, Oxford, Cambridge. Okay, voilà. LSE, I don't like the school too much because I find that it's not a business school, and so on. It's very theoretical. Have you applied to LSE, Rob? No, not at all. Have you applied to LSE?
I did, yes.
Yeah, but very theoretical. Okay, but for someone who, I don't know, for some people it can fit. And then, of course, the French programs, HEC, ESSEC, ESCP, and then a bit for the other ones, a bit of Bocconi, a bit of IE, and a bit of St. Gallen, the Master in Finance. Okay, that's basically the 9-10 where students are going to apply with a focus on US programs this year. Especially because we have lots of Indians and we want them to go to MIT if possible with the STEM program. Basically, Rob, the most difficult part in applying. So what was like the interviews, the application process for you? What was it like? Tell me. What was difficult? What was easy? What was?
Pardon me? The last.
What did you find difficult? What did you
Oh.
find easier? What are the do's and don'ts, etc.?
So I think one thing was in the essays they have. LBS, they have really many essays. So like in LSE, it's just one essay. But in LBS, you have many, many essays and then 2 big essays. And sometimes they were kind of the same questions in 2 different parts. So you somehow had to figure out to answer separately the questions that you don't repeat yourself. But I mean, MBA Center helps you with that. So that was not that of a problem. I think for me, the most difficult part or the most stressful part was the GMAT, I guess.
Yeah.
A bit, because I was studying on my own. I did not have this know-how. I was scoring, my best score in practice tests was like 760. But at the exam, I always started to feel immense pressure, which for me, I don't know why. I think in the practice exams, if you don't know a question, because it's a practice exam, you can just skip the question and save time. But I was in the real exam, because it's a real exam, it was very difficult for me to skip a question, and there I lost a lot of time for other questions. So it was very difficult for me somehow to get good scores even though my practice exams were very good.
So that's something that you have to consider as well. So I would say most difficult part, of course, it's always the GMAT. Okay, you're going to spend 3 to 6 months. The application is easier, but of course cumbersome. And the interview probably is the last stage. You feel relieved. But some schools have difficult interviews like MIT and HEC. Okay, so it was nice to talk to you, Robin. Of course, it was very nice to work with you. Tell me if you could give 3 most important piece of advice. What would it be and why?
Yes. So first of all, GMAT, prepare early. I only prepared a month, or not even. It was, it was. I did not prepare a long time ahead, and I think GMAT is something, even though you can learn it quickly, to attack the actual test is different, because the amount of pressure is just, it's just on a new level. So you have to be really, really good at it, that you don't crack under pressure like I did. So I think it's something that takes a lot of time. I think the second one is probably the essays. Just mention every kind of unique experience that you have. So I mean, there are people from everywhere applying, you know, all sorts of people are applying with all sorts of different experiences. So I think it is very important to emphasize your unique experience, what makes you unique. But MBA Center will help you a lot with that. And third of all, I think it is very important that you ace your interview. That is, I think, very important. I had a very good interview, but I've seen like roughly half of the people get accepted into LBS when they have an interview, and roughly half didn't. So it is definitely something you do need to pay attention to, take care of. And actually the admissions rate after the interview goes down the higher the GMAT score was. So it is definitely a way how they check if you are a personal fit for LBS.
Exactly. So basically, from what I see from Robin, I would say that what I've seen is that he knew that he wanted to work in finance. So of course he has then decided to do so. He knew what he wanted to study. He wanted to be in London, of course. But the mistake, so he was determined. The mistake is that he has applied a bit too late. But at the same time, he got very good results. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I would say first apply early if possible. So no fall, choose program for which you're really motivated and for which there's a link between you and a connection between you and the program. And third, what else can we say? Basically, yes, work on your GMAT, because that's all being said. The higher the GMAT, the better it is. And of course, the GMAT can also have an impact on the scholarship. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably if you had a 720, where it's possible to get a scholarship, maybe you don't need one, but if it's really necessary, the GMAT is key. And also consider it depends on the nationality. Of course, for Maximilian, it's easier, but also for an Indian person, be very careful, because there are many applicants, and it makes the process even more difficult. Thank you very much, Robin. So I hope that you let us know how things go, and don't hesitate once in a while to share something that you want to share about the program, and that is always interesting and useful to communicate to our students. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Robin.
Also,
Yeah.
anybody, please, if you have any questions, add me on LinkedIn. So I can always answer.
Can you put your LinkedIn on the Google Meet? Because
Yes.
your first name is Robin Kramer, and the only Robin Kramer. Yeah, there's only one. Yeah.
There are not
Anyway,
many.
you find a Robin Kramer who looks like Robin, and who is starting LBS. So I'm sure that you understand. Don't hesitate. It's very nice for him to share his LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Robin. It was nice to talk to you, and great honor to work with a successful banker like you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.